All right, this is lesson math 5.5, and our learning target is to compare and order rational numbers. You might be thinking we've already compared and ordered numbers. What we did before was compare and order integers, and integers include the negatives and the wholes. So we talked about all whole numbers and we compared them, but that was integers. Now we're moving into the rational, which includes integers, but is more than. So it also includes fractions and decimals. So now we're going to compare and order whole numbers, fractions, decimals, which is rational, positive, negative. Okay, so we know that comparing it's either going to be equal, you're going to have an equality, or you're going to have an inequality, less than or greater than. Okay, 3.1, negative 3.7. When you have a positive and a negative, it's really easy. You don't even have to do like a number line. You just know that a positive number is greater. Okay, so right away I go like that because I know that if I got $3.1 compared to if I spent 3, which do I have more? Well, I have more if I got money. Or temperature. Is 3.1 degrees greater than negative 3.7? Yeah. Okay. So it's nice when there's ones and negative, ones are positive, easy to compare. The positives are always greater than the negatives. Always. Now, I have this. So this is a rational number, 9/16 and 12/16. They have the same denominator. So if I'm talking about pizzas, this pizza has 16 parts to be a whole. This pizza has 16 slices to be a whole. Now, if I ate 9 of the 16 slices, did I eat more or less than 12 of the slices? Well, I know 9 is less than 12. But I could do it on a number line. Like this. Okay? So, 0 here, and 16 sixteenths, which is the same as 1. Okay? But this would be 1/16. You could say this is 0 out of 16. 1/16, 2/16, 3/16, 4/16, 5/16, 7, oops, 6, 6/16, 7/16, 8/16, 9/16, 10/16, 11/16, 12/16, 13/16, 14/16, 15/16, and then 16/16. Okay, not real clear print, but you get the idea. You've taken this one thing from 0 to 1, broken it up in 16 ways, and you have 1 out of 16, 2 out of 16, 3 out of 16, all the way. So this is 9/16 right here, and 12/16 is right here. This side is always greater, and this side is always lesser. Okay? So the 12/16 is greater. This is greater than this. Or the 9/16 is less than, it's lesser, it's over here, lesser than 12/16. Okay? All right. Now, you have two positive numbers here. That's a weird line. Okay. You have 3/7 compared to 0.413. Now, I don't like to compare a fraction with a decimal. I like to compare either a fraction to a fraction or a decimal to a decimal. I'm going to turn this into a decimal. And the way I'm going to do it is 3 divided by 7. So let's get the calculator out here. 3 divided by 7 equals the number that goes on a little bit. What I get is 0.42857,143. And it goes on even farther than that. Okay? So it's not a terminating and it's not a repeating. We'll talk about what kind of number this is later. But it's like this. Now, what I need is that if I have 1, 2, 3 places, I need at least 3 places to compare it. So I'm going to do 0.428 compared to 0.413. Now, what I have here, if I do a number line, this is 0. Let's say this is 0.5, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4. So I'm between this 0.4 and 0.5. 0.4 something, 0.4 something. So we're talking about this right here. So what I'm going to do, get rid of this, and expand this 0.4. Okay? So 0.4 to 0.5. And I know 0.41, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 0.42, 0.43, 0.44, 0.45, 0.46, 0.47, 0.48, 0.49, and then 0.49, this 9 kicks it up to 0.5. Okay? So now I've taken it between 0.4 and 0.5, but then I'm between 0.41 and 0.28. So I'm kind of between this here and this here. So I'm going to do this one first. 0.428. 0.42, almost here. Okay? This is 0.41, 0.413, right here. Lesser, great. Okay? So this 3/7, which is 0.428, that's right here, it is greater than this one. So it goes like this. The other way you could do it is you could stack them. Okay? This is, if I know that I have 0.428, and I'm going to compare it to 0.413. I want to find out which one's greater. I have place value here. This is my tenths, my tenths. My tenths are the same. They both are 4. So right now, I'm saying these are equal. But then I get here to 2 and 1. They're not equal. Okay? So I look at this number and this number. 2 and 1. Which one's greater? The 2 is greater. Right away I know that it's greater. 0.428 is greater. I don't need to go any farther. Once I get one of these starting here going this way, comparing the tenths, then the hundredths, then the thousandths, and on and on and on. I get to a place value that one is greater than the other, the whole number is greater. Okay? Now, with this one, again, I have a fraction and a decimal. They're both negatives, so I'm comparing same things, negatives. I just wish this was a decimal. So I'm going to make it into a decimal. Negative 3 and 5/8 is the same as negative 3.58. 5 divided by 8 equals 0.625. So negative 3.625, how does that compare to negative 3.625? Right away, I start looking at the place values. Same, 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 same. Are there no repeating? Everything's the same. I have an equality. Equal. Okay. I'm talking fast, I know. Hopefully this makes sense to you. For me, getting it to a decimal, and then even stacking them like this to compare them, which one is greater than the other? All right. Now, positive, negative numbers, you can do that one pretty simply. Positive is always greater than a negative. All right, now we want to be able to order them. Now this one I did greatest to least. Sometimes you'll see someone say, give me the numbers least to greatest. Sometimes you'll say, give me greatest to least. You got to be real careful. So it wants the biggest number to the least. We're going from big to small. So I have a fraction, a decimal, and a fraction. They're all negatives. I'm going to get them all to be decimals, okay? Because I want to compare decimals. So first of all, this negative 7 and 13/20, I go here, and I know it's going to be negative 7.13 divided by 20 equals 65. All right. Then this one is already a decimal. Then this one, 17 divided by 100 is 0.17. Okay. Now, I got to go on a number line. I'm going to do a number line like this. And I'm going to make this negative 7. And I'm going to make this negative 8. All of these are between negative 7 and 8. So, this is going to be negative 7.5. Alright. And let's do negative 7.4, negative 7.3, negative 7.2, negative 7.1. And then negative 7.6, negative 7.7, negative 7.8, negative 7.9. So I have my number line. I start at negative 7 here. I'm getting smaller, so it's negative 7.1, negative 7.2, negative 7.3. I'm going all the way to 8. The way I know I'm getting smaller is I think of degrees. If I'm at negative 7 and now it's negative 8, it's less, it's colder. It's getting colder and colder, it's getting less, okay? Now, I'm just going to look at these. I'm going to see if I can put them on the number line somewhere. Negative 7.17. So negative 7, negative 7.1, and it's a little bit more than just 1, so I'm going to put it right here. So that one goes there. Now, let's do this one here. Negative 7.78. Negative 7.7, but this 8 tells me it goes a little bit colder, so it's going to go right over here. That one goes there. And then 7.65. 7.6, okay. 7.6, a little bit more, goes right there. All right, so this is least to greatest. So now I have all of these on the number line, and this one is actually negative 7 and 17/100. This one is negative 7.78, and this one, negative 7.13/20. So I go back to the original, what it was. After I get it to a decimal, then I put it on a number line, and then I can put below it what I started with originally. I go back to here, greatest to least. So the greatest is right over here. This negative 7.17 is the greatest, closest to the greatest. And I remember it started out as negative 7, 17/100. So that's my greatest. Then I come down here. Now I want this one, which is this number here. So it's negative 7 and 13/20. And then I'm going to the very least, so I go all the way here to the very least one, which is this one. And the original wasn't a decimal, negative 7.8. Okay? So it's a lot of work. I take these to make them all decimals. I put them on a number line. I got to think about my number line, though, starting with the greater over here, going to the smaller. Doesn't have to start with 0. It could start with anything, but it has to get less if you go this way, more if you go that way. And then I put them on the number line, and then once it's on the number line, then I can easily say, here's the least to the greatest, here's the greatest to the least. And I put them in line there. Okay? So, rational ordering of rational numbers and comparing rational numbers. Go ahead, do the guided practice. You'll see me do a few more. Do the independent practice and the extra practice.